Hello, you guys. My name is Manuel Gonzalez, and for those of you that have never seen me before, I'm Albuquerque Poet Laureate Emeritus, and that means that I like to write poems. And today we're gonna have a writing workshop, and that means I'm gonna talk to you about poetry and I'm gonna walk you through writing a poem. And then after we're done doing all of this, I hope you take the poem you wrote and share it with anybody that wants to hear you say it. Now, first, let me tell you like this. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I used to carry a notebook with me everywhere I went, and that notebook was always something I was kind of embarrassed of. I didn't want to show it to my friends. I always thought maybe they would make fun of me or clown me because I wrote, I don't know, poetry or something like that. And so I didn't show nobody. But when I got older, I started to show what I wrote with my friends, and they liked what I wrote. And they tell me like, hey Manuel, will you write that girl a poem? I could tell her that I wrote it and maybe she'll like me. So I tried to get like dates for my friends with poems, and it didn't always work. But love poetry is always a good thing to write about, in my opinion, and I like to do it. But that's where I started writing, and I started filling that book with ideas and rhymes and whatever popped into my head. And eventually me and my friends started to do hip hop. We started to stand in a circle and cipher, and that means we say rhymes that pop into our head as soon as they come there as fast as we could. I was the beatboxer, and for those of you that don't know what a beatboxer is, I would make the rhythms with my mouth like this. And that's what we would rhyme to all night long. And it was cool. But for me, it was like hip hop was cotton candy. It tasted good. It was fun. It just didn't always have the vitamins in it that fed me in that way. And I was always looking for something that fed me in that way. And it wasn't until I found a poetry slam. I don't know if any of you have ever been to a poetry slam, but a poetry slam is a competition. And the way it works is poets get up on the stage, they recite a poem that they wrote themselves, and every poem is judged on a scale from 0 to 10. 0 is a poem that should never have been written, should have been left home. It leaves a bad smell on the stage when they're done. 10 is a poem that changes your life. It changes your world. It squeezes your heart oh so painfully. It makes you see colors you never knew existed before. So it has to be a really great poem. And I just saw people get up on that stage and express themselves and talk about their feelings in a real way. Talk about where they come from and what they represent and what they're proud of. Talk about the things that hurt and that we don't always talk about. That's what I like about poetry. And so it grabbed my heart, and from then on I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I started to go to the poetry slams. But it was really hard for me. I'd get up on the stage and I get kind of embarrassed and scared, and my paper would shake while I'd get on the stage, and I did what I had to do to get to the end of the poem, and then I'd run off the stage when I was done. And I would lose. I wouldn't get good scores. But eventually I started to win. And then I became the Albuquerque Poet Laureate, and I became the Albuquerque Poetry Slam Champ 4 times. Poetry has taken me all over this country, and now I get to talk to you about this art form that I love so much. Now, for those of you that don't know, some people like take clay and they make a sculpture. Some artists use paint and they paint a portrait. Poets use words. That's our medium. That's how we express ourselves. Today's class is going to be for grade levels 8 and up. And the reason I say 8 is because we're going to be getting into some big feelings, some big ideas, and some new concepts and new words. So I think all the 8th graders are going to be good writing all these beautiful metaphors with our metaphor generator that we're going to be writing with today. Now, today is going to be a good writing exercise because I get to talk to you about a few different terms. Now, the first term I want to talk to you about is, does anybody know what a noun is? Every time I go into a classroom, I ask what a noun is, and there's always kids excited. I know what a noun is. I know what a noun is. For those of you that don't know, and I was always the one that didn't know, was a noun is a person, place, or thing. And that's true. That's exactly what a noun is. It's like an object. It's a person. It's a place you could go. It's a thing you can touch. But there's another one when they taught me about nouns. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. And that idea is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be working with that today because that idea is a noun that you can't touch. That idea is a noun that you can't see. It's just something that exists in your mind. Something like freedom. Something like love. Something like truth. These are nouns that only exist in our mind. Like you can't hold truth in your hand, but you can write it like that in a poem. You can't see what color freedom is, but you can write it like that in a poem. See, what I'm trying to tell you is that abstract noun, that's what we call those ideas, is abstract nouns. That abstract noun is a noun that you can't touch or see. It's something that only exists in your mind. And we're going to be talking about and writing about that when we get into our writing workshop today. Now, I was telling you a little bit about poetry. In poetry, we deal with these big ideas, these huge subjects, these feelings that can be really, really heavy. And sometimes the only way we can let people know how heavy, how big, how intense these feelings get is the only way we can do that is we compare it to something else. So we have two ways in poetry to compare those things. And the first one is a simile. And a simile, in your book, it says a simile is a comparison using like or as. I'm strong like a lion. I'm as fast as a cheetah. I'm as hungry as a bear. I don't know, I have a lot of animals in my brain today, but that's what I'm saying. It's you're comparing one thing to something else because it's hard to let people know how hungry you are or how fast you can run, but people know that bears like to eat a lot of food, and we know that cheetahs are really, really fast, and so that comparison lets people know how you feel. Now the other one we have is a metaphor, and the book says a metaphor is a comparison not using like or as, and that's true, that's what it is, but like for me, especially as a poet, metaphor is the way that we let people know how we feel. Because we, instead of saying something is like something else, we say we are those things. She was so sad that she cried a river. I'm not saying a whole river came out of her face and it went all the way to the ocean and people went fishing in her tears. That's not what I'm talking about. But when somebody sits down and cries a river, you can understand how heavy the feelings were. And that's what we're going to deal with today, that metaphor, because what we're going to do today is what's called a metaphor generator. And that means it's just a sentence that helps you write metaphors. And we're going to write 4 stanzas. And for those of you that don't know, a stanza is a section of poetry. It's like a paragraph of poetry. And we're going to write 4 short paragraphs that are filled with metaphor, because that's how we're going to explain about these abstract nouns. All right, you guys, today's prompt is, it's a special, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Mad Libs, but Mad Libs is where it gives you a sentence and tells you to put a noun here, an adjective there, and then when you're done, you have a funny sentence that had all kinds of funny things or random words in there. We're going to kind of do it like that, but we're not going to just put random words. We're going to pick the words that we put in there. And the sentence we're using is abstract noun, comma, you, adjective noun. So I got to tell you, we talked about what a noun is. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. An abstract noun is that idea. It's a noun you can't touch or see. An adjective is a word that describes a noun. How big? What color? You got to let us know about that noun that you used. If it's a eagle, well, how does that eagle feel? You proud eagle. Or you have to write a word that describes the noun. Now, I always get kind of scared, a little bit worried when I don't have a brain full of adjectives. So I've supplied a list of all kinds of different adjectives for you to choose from that'll help you write what you're about to write. Look in there. You're going to find one that that describes what that is. So I'm supplied you 2 lists. The first list is your adjectives. The second list is a list of all kinds of abstract nouns. Look at that list. Find one of those words that mean something to you. Maybe it's justice. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's excitement. Maybe it's happiness. I don't know what word you're going to use. But look at your list of abstract nouns and find a word that you think you could write a couple sentences about, because we're going to go over there and write them. You're going to need a pen and a paper. You're going to need your fingers and a keyboard, or just some way to record the words that we're about to go through today. And I'm so glad you're here with us. And I really hope you write something that you can share with anybody. Share it with your mom. Share it with your friends. Let people know that you can write, because after today, you're going to have written a poem you're going to be proud of. Let's go try over there. All right, you guys, I hope you're excited, because I'm excited, because what we're going to do today is we're going to write some metaphors, and we're going to write some similes too. Now, what I told you before is that metaphor and simile is a way for us to compare our feelings or our ideas to something else, so that people can have a better understanding of what those ideas and feelings mean. So today I'm going to walk you through the first sentence and then help you through your first 4 sentences. But you know what? I'm going to stop calling them sentences, because this is poetry. It doesn't have to be a full sentence. We can call it a line. And on a line, you get to write what you want to write on your line, because you're the poet and you're the writer. But for this first line, I want everybody to write this sentence. The sentence begins with the word "oh." And then I want you to look at the list of abstract nouns that I supplied for you, and I want you to pick one of those abstract nouns. Now, I made a list of abstract nouns for me. The one I gave you has hundreds of more words, that you can find one that you really like, and find that one, and that one will be the one you write. Now, I'm going to write abstract noun here. I'm going to make my line a little longer, and then put a comma. And then I want you to write the word "you." And then we're going to write an adjective, and then a noun. Okay, now when the teacher always told me to write an adjective, I'd get worried, because I don't really always know the difference between an adjective and an adverb, and all these words, and sometimes I'd get confused, and I'd get scared or worried, and I'd stop. And I would do that sometimes, just because it was easier to just stop than to listen. So I'm going to tell you like this. I gave you guys a list of adjectives. It's a long list of adjectives, and all you got to do is pick one. And if you don't want to look at that list, colors are adjectives, or feelings can be adjectives. Like if you're talking about the happy baby, happy is an adjective. It's a word that describes a noun. You just have to pick a word that can describe the next word you chose. Now, do you remember when we talked about what a noun is? A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. I want you to pick one of those, and I want you to write it down there. That's what we're going to do. But before we even get to that sentence, like I said, I want you to look at your list of abstract nouns. I want you to pick one abstract noun, and that's going to be the one you're going to be writing with today. After you pick that one abstract noun, I want you to look at your list of adjectives, and I want you to choose 4 of them, because we're going to write 4 stanzas. So I want you to choose 4 adjectives that you really, really like on the list of adjectives, because all you need is 4. So you chose your one abstract noun, and you chose your one adjective. And then you write this sentence. I'm going to write mine. Mine is, oh, let's see. I'm gonna do a happy one first. Oh, happiness. And then I'm gonna write you. Let's write an adjective and a noun. I'm gonna say beautiful day. Now you have a sentence. You should have written O, abstract noun, You, adjective, noun. And now you're gonna have like a weird random sentence. It's like a sentence that sometimes when I do this, sometimes it doesn't always make sense. It's like gives me a weird one, like oh pride, you funny sneeze. I don't know. You might have something crazy. The trick to this one is you have to make that sentence work. And I picked an easy one because it's easy to compare happiness to a beautiful day. So I want you to write 4 lines. And on those 4 lines, you're going to make that sentence work. Oh, happiness, you beautiful day. The sun shines on my face. That's my second line. And then the next one is, I can hear a bird singing. See, and I'm a bad speller. I wanted to write 2 G's in singing, and I think it does have 2 G's. I spelt that wrong, but that's okay. And I'm writing in pen, and I can't even erase it, but that's okay. It happens to the best of us. And we sometimes misspell things on our first draft. Okay, so, and now I need one more line. Oh, happiness, you beautiful day. The sun shines on my face. I can hear a bird singing. All I can do is smile. All right, that's the first stanza. And a stanza is like a paragraph of poetry. It's like a section of poetry. It's like one little bit. We're going to move on to the next one. Now, the way we move on to this one is we're going to write that sentence again. We're going to keep the same abstract noun, oh, happiness, and then, comma, you. We're going to change the adjective and the noun. And I'm going to put, oh, happiness, you, let me see. I'm going to pick a good one. Because you know what? I have a dog, and my dog is always happy to see me. And every time I see him, and if I show him any attention, if I pet him or talk to him, he starts wagging his tail, and he is the embodiment of happiness. So I'm going to say, oh, happiness, you crazy dog. Because my dog is kind of crazy. And crazy is a good adjective. Oh, happiness, you crazy dog. You lick my face and make me smile. Oh, I already said we see. I was about to use the word smile again, but I've used the word smile in that last stanza, and I don't want to keep using the same words over and over again, because then it gets a little bit like the word is redundant. It's the same thing. We don't want to do that. So I'm gonna put, oh, happiness, you crazy dog. You jump on me and lick my face. I don't know. It makes me happy when my dog does that. You jump on me and lick my face. Okay, I'm going to have to go to the next page to write my next 2 lines, but that's okay. Okay, you jump on me and lick my face. What else do dogs do that make me happy? Happiness is always glad to see me. It's a furry smile. Oh, I used smile already. It's a furry ball of love. Because I love my dog and my dog loves me, and I think that's cool. And my dog is a furry ball of love. So, okay, look, now we have 2 stanzas. You wrote 1 stanza, you wrote the second stanza, and now we're going to write that sentence one more time. Oh, happiness. Let's think about this thing. First, this one, I want you to really stop and think about it. I want you to think about whatever word you picked. I picked happiness. Whatever word you picked, I want you to think about what makes you think of that word, or what makes you feel that way, or like if I chose truth, what is truth? What does it mean to tell the truth? If I chose justice, what does it mean for justice to be served. If I chose sadness or depression, what does it mean to feel these feelings? What does it mean for you? For me, happiness is, you guys can see I'm a little bit gordo, and that means like I'm a chubby guy, and that's okay. But food brings me happiness sometimes, and I know, but I like food, so I'm gonna say, oh happiness, you big plate of spaghetti. Okay, wait a minute. I changed it a little bit. The original one is oh abstract noun, you adjective noun, but I added a little bit another word to it, and that's okay. You can put your own spin on it. This is your poem. You get to decide what it sounds like, as long as you have at least 4 lines for this stanza. That's what I want you to do. But I'm gonna put oh happiness, you. I'm gonna put cheesy spaghetti. I can never spell spaghetti. Speghitti. I think that looks good enough for me. And we're just all going to say that means spaghetti there. And that's my first sentence. Now, what about spaghetti? You get on my shirt and on my chin. And on my shirt. What else do I like about spaghetti? What's cool about spaghetti? Why does it make me so happy when I eat spaghetti? It's like I eat spaghetti with my family and friends, and that's always, see, because now during COVID, we don't always get to see our family and friends like we used to, as much as we miss, and I know how it is. And so sometimes when you add a little bit like that into your poem, it makes your poem more timely because it's about what's going on in the world today. So I'm going to say, you get on my chin and on my shirt. I miss you with my friends. I don't know if that makes sense, but I can fix that on the whole revision. I miss you when I saw you with my friends. Spaghetti makes me happy. Because it reminds me of the people I love. That's a long sentence. All right, now that's my third stanza. Now, everybody, okay, you ever been like in the bathroom and you gotta wash your hands, and then when you're done washing your hands, there's no paper towels. What are you gonna do to dry your hands? I don't know. What I always do is this. And I want everybody, if you get a chance, do this, because this helps me kind of, I'm getting kind of, we've been writing a lot. And my hands are kind of, I've been never written those many words at one time. And like, it's kind of hard like that. And that's what I do to get me ready to write my last stanza. Because this last stanza, this is where you bring it all together. This is where you like, this is the one. This is where you write the 4 sentences that really mean what you want to say about the topic that you chose. And the topic that you chose is that abstract noun. So write that sentence one more last time. I wrote, oh, happiness. Now, I put comma, you. Now this adjective and noun is very important here because we're going to end it. This is the last one. We're going to bring it all together. So I would think about what really makes me feel like this. Oh, happiness, you. Where am I when I feel like that? I'm with my family. I'm with my friends. We're talking and laughing. Oh, I got it. Oh, happiness, you funny giggle. Now, for me, when I have friends that have funny laughs, I don't know, some of them laugh and like you could tell as soon as you walk in the room that your friend is there because you heard their laugh from the other side of the room because nobody laughs like they do. So when I think of a funny giggle, that's what makes me happy. So now I'm going to write another sentence. Oh, happiness, you funny giggle. You make everybody laugh whenever you appear. I'm gotta go up here. You make everybody laugh whenever you appear. And now I want to finish it. This is the last sentence. This is the one. This finishes it all. This brings everything we just wrote together. Okay, and it's about happiness, how it's a funny giggle. You make my life better. I don't like better. I'm going to think of a better word than better. You make my life, maybe it's like you make my life shiny. You make my life beautiful. Did I use beautiful yet? I don't think I've used beautiful yet. I'm going to use beautiful here because beautiful is a beautiful word and I love beautiful. So B-E, and it's hard to spell though because B-E-A-U-T-I-F-U-L. You make my life beautiful. Now I want you to finish your last sentence. Okay? Now, after you've written it, I'm going to show you how you share your sentence, your poem, what you've been writing. All right, you guys, we talked about what similes are, what metaphors are, what adjectives are, what nouns are, even more abstract nouns. This big word, abstract always kind of made me like, that's a big word. Okay, but you know what they are. And I think you wrote sentences about all of them, and I hope you did. But what I want to show you now is what we're going to do is after you've written those sentences, I want you to go find at least 2 people that'll let you read what you wrote to them. And you could read it to them at the same time if it's like 2 people in the same room, or I know it's quarantine and we're all staying away from each other. You might have to call somebody up on the phone and say these sentences. But I want you to say the sentences like you mean them, like they're important to you, like it's something that is something to share with them. And I'm going to share the one that I wrote with you. You guys saw me write it. I'm just going to show you how you say it like you mean it. And I'm going to title this poem Happiness. And it goes like this. Oh, happiness, you beautiful day. The sun shines on my face. I can hear a bird singing and all I can do is smile. Oh, happiness, you crazy dog. You jump on me and lick my face. Happiness is always glad to see me and it's a furry ball of love. Oh, happiness, you cheesy spaghetti. You get on my chin and on my shirt, and I miss when I used to see you with friends. Spaghetti makes me happy because it reminds me of the people that I love. Oh, happiness, you funny giggle. You make everybody laugh whenever you appear. You make my life beautiful. Now, I want you to find 2 people that'll let you share your poem with them. And I want you to say it like you mean it. If it's a happy poem, I want you to say it like you're happy, like you're excited, like it's something that you're excited to share. If it's a sad poem, it's okay to say it gently, to share it like you mean it, to maybe even feel a little bit sad when you share your poem. That's what we call authenticity. That's how we make our poetry real. That's how we share it so other people can feel the way we were feeling when we wrote what we wrote. And thank you for writing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing these few minutes with us together here so that you could write something that you could be proud of. I really appreciate you being here with us today, and come again. We're going to have many more lessons and much more fun to do. And I really hope you share everything you wrote with somebody that you love. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Today you just used our metaphor generator to generate all these metaphors. You wrote that first sentence where you just plugged in the words where they needed to go with your abstract noun, adjective, and your noun, and then you made that sentence work. You made it so that that sentence, no matter how weird and random and maybe sometimes even silly, you made it work for real. And that's how they made the poetry. You wrote 4 sentences, and then 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 you were done. Wow, you put a lot of work into this. You put a lot of heart into it. And what's cool about that, what's interesting about that is all the heart that you put into what you just wrote. It's going to be there for when you share it with somebody. I want you to share it with anybody that's willing to listen to you. I always use my mom. Mom, can I share what I just wrote with you? And moms are nice. They'll say something good about it, even if you're a little scared about reading it. Share it with people. Share it with your friends. Share it with anybody. And thank you for writing it. You did a good job. Thank you.